on the iPad, so that's what we're doing. We got my husband Joe over here, we got Napu over there, and all three, or 1 out of 3, or 2 out of 3 will work and go to Reverend Sky this afternoon. So, yay, God. So we're going to edit all this out. How's everyone today?
Good.
Wonderful. We're so grateful to be part of Unity in this ministry and this thing called life, aren't we? My question to you today is, how many of you believe that you are honest people? Show of hands. Yes, we are. We come to unity, we come to truth, and we become to be more honest, don't we? Are you honorable in your principles? Yes. In your intentions and in your actions? Yes. We do the very best we can. Would you like to learn how to be more honest?
Yes.
Yes. So that's the power and the talk of this lesson, is growing up, my children and my family, we all learned and said this question: what's the most important thing? And the answer is to always tell the truth. And most of you know my daughter Sasha, who works with the children in Sunday school, and she couldn't be here today. And she grew up with this. This was like her. Every one of my children had a mantra growing up. And this was Sasha's. And so I'd always ask her, what's the most important thing? And she'd always say, to always tell the truth. Now picture a 3-year-old, to always tell the truth. And now I can ask her that question, and that is her first response. And she's teaching her children, what is the most important thing? And it's always to tell the truth. Always. And what is the truth? The truth means many different things to many people, wouldn't you say? Because Napua's truth may not be the same as my truth, Virginia's. We all have experiences in life that we have that experience truth. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, said this about being honest. Honesty is the divine law in action, which reveals that man must give an equivalent and equal value for everything that he gets. To me, that means that wherever I am at any given moment, I have the opportunity to be real, to be honest, to be the best that I can be. Now, I'm not that all the time. Are you?
No.
Do we get caught up in life?
Yes.
Do we get caught up in traffic? Do we get caught up in lines? And do we sometimes forget the truth of who we are? Yes, we do. Only in those moments. And then, fortunately, if you're like me, on the dashboard of my car I have a little sticker that says breathe. And when I see that, and I don't always see it, you know how we kind of get that tunnel vision, we don't see things. When I see that, I went, okay, breathe. And that will bring me back to that center, that consciousness of my heart that says, I want to be honest here. And what is honesty? It's telling the truth. So if you are feeling a little upset in a moment and you pretend that you're not upset, is that being true? Think about it. Think about it when you're in a conversation with someone and they're talking and you're pretending to be listening. And in your mind, where are you? You're thinking about that list of things you got to do, the things you want to have happen in your life. Or you're saying to yourself, I wish I wasn't talking to this person right now. Do we ever do that?
Yeah.
Truthfully, yes we do. And so what's a way that we can move forward in that experience and love ourselves and love that person? By asking in that moment, instead of going into those far off places of what if we take time right here and right now, in the middle of that conversation, to tap into the truth. And sometimes it's just a hand on someone's arm and say, I really have to go right now. And is that not better? Wouldn't you rather hear that than to be given some song and dance? I grew up with those words, a song and dance. There's a wonderful book that we've done, probably 8 years ago now, called The Joy Diet, and it's by Martha Beck. And it's about 10 daily practices for a happier life. And one of the chapters, number 2, is about truth. But you can't go into truth unless you practice number 1. And here's the way to learn how to be more honest. Do 15 minutes a day of doing nothing. Can you really do 15 minutes a day of doing nothing? Yes. Some of us can. Harriet's shaking her head. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So those of us who can't, it's important for us to ask in these moments, what is it that stops me from being in the stillness? What am I afraid of in this moment that says, I don't want to be quiet right now. I got too many things to do. If I start my day in prayer and meditation, who knows what will happen? Because we don't know. When we go into that stillness and the silence, we're surrendering our will to the will of God. But the most important thing, writes Joy, writes Martha Beck about joy, is that if you take a moment to be in the silence, and the answer, you ask yourself this question, what am I afraid of in the silence? And you honestly tell the truth. Maybe you get frustrated. Do any of you get frustrated when you go into meditation? Yes. Do any of you feel edgy and anxious? Do any of you feel like mad? Now how come Rev Deb told me that I have to do this week? Because you know I'm going to tell you. Because that's what happens. In these moments, we learn to sit in the silence. And that's how we become more honest with ourselves. And you know why? Because we're learning more about ourselves, the truth of who we are. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore taught us these very things. To go into the stillness, to that silence, that secret place of the Most High God. And as you know, every week we do our meditation. And we sit in the stillness for just a few moments. Can we do that every day? Can we really make it happen? That's all it will take, is to have that moment to move into the stillness. I want to share with you a story from our Unity text called The Quest. And in it, it's a story, it's a wonderful little story about two people that you'll recognize their names. The damp north wind was blowing a chill of the moors. It would be good to be inside on an evening like this. The American drew his coat collar tighter as he made his way to the home of his Scottish friend. Ralph Waldo Emerson and Thomas Carlyle had enjoyed a strong friendship through correspondence for many years before they actually met. Now, after all that time, Emerson had finally come to Europe, making a special journey to Scotland so that he could at last meet the renowned essayist and historian face to face. And here's what they did. When Emerson arrived for the momentous occasion, Carlyle greeted him warmly, offered him a pipe, and together they virtually sat in silence until it was time to leave and retire for the night. At that point, the two warmly shook hands and praised each other for the fruitful evening they had shared together. Isn't that beautiful? Think for a moment if you had a time in your life when you just sat with someone in the silence. Some of us don't like to do that. Maybe we're in a car. I remember the first time I was aware of quietness in a car when no one was talking. And I felt uncomfortable. And through all the years of doing all the work that I've done and that we've all done, there's a place now when the silence is there and it's like a breath of fresh air. When people are not talking, and if you ride with teenagers ever, right now, there is no silence because they're always texting and all that kind of stuff. But they're not even present with you in that moment in the car. So I invite my teenage grandchildren to be with me. Can we not have the radio on? Can we just be with each other? We don't see each other very often. So can't we just sit? And so the silence comes. But after a few moments, the communication begins. And we talk about what's real and what's true for us. That's the beauty of learning how to tell the truth. We all have the opportunity every day to do this, to be the best we can be, to be more of who we are. And honesty is a way to experience truth. If you want to know the truth of who you are, sit in the silence. Give yourself those 15 minutes a day of doing nothing. Ask yourself questions in the silence. What am I feeling right now? And answer it truthfully. If I ask you right now, what are you feeling? What are you feeling? Can you tell me today what you're feeling? Nan, can you tell me what you're feeling?
Peacefulness.
Peacefulness. Joy, how about you? What are you feeling right now? She's feeling the presence of God. What is in this moment we're expressing and hearing? We are making a spiritual connection, aren't we? That's what all of this is about. That's what I love about unity and love about truth, is that we make that connection because the God in you is honoring the God in me. The Christ in you is honoring the Christ in me. The light of you is honoring the light in me. However you choose to say God, it's all about making that connection. And I can only make the connection with you if I first make the connection with me. If I take the time to experience truth and love and honor and find out who I am, then in the next moment, the next expression, it may not be great. Because do you ever get fussy? That's what I call it. My husband will vouch for that. I get fussy. On Sunday mornings, I don't want to chit-chat. He knows that now, and he still chit-chats with me. Because you know what my primary lesson about is? Learning patience, tolerance, and understanding of myself and my husband. Because I want to be treated, and he wants to be treated in the best and highest good. So when he tells me a story, I can tell him the truth. I really can't listen to that right now because I won't give you the attention you deserve. Wouldn't you rather hear that than someone saying, I gotta go now, see ya? If we take those moments when we're in the presence of another human being to just say, I really want to hear what you have to say. I really want to know the truth of who you are, because it helps me know the truth of who I am.